Hi folks, well, I've been on the bike ride today, this morning. So I've got quite a high key palette here. I've got a cadmium yellow pale, yellow ochre, cadmium red, ultramarine, cerulean blue, red ochre and emerald green. Now 2, 4, 7 colours. On the bike ride this morning, we were on the boardwalk in the Morden Hall Park, for those of you that know it, this beautiful park. And the agency guys are slowly hacking away at the reeds to generate next year's crop and to facilitate some wildlife. Lovely, and it's lovely watching over the reeds, the tips of the reeds, the trees changing to their autumn colours. It's always inspirational. I'm not going to do a copy of it. I'm just going to do a stipple. Three brushes, any old cheapo brushes, and a cloth to wipe the oil out of them. Some linseed oil mixed or with a few drops of dry added. Away we go. So I'll do the sky first. So I'm going to do all of this. So it's going to take a little while. So let's dip into this. Alan sent me a gold SD card, which he reckons is pretty good. So we'll see how we go with it. See if it does actually go further than 55 minutes. So let's just get a bit of stipple. Just get the board covered first. That's the priority. I'm mixing a bit of cerulean with the ultramarine and a bit of white. Plenty of I really do like stipple. Alan is just, as you know, if you follow him, and most of you do, great watercolour painter for beginners. He's like other artists are putting the camera to one side so you get a slanted effect. Well, I can't really do that. I used to, but I've got a table to my left with a laptop on, and I've got my box easel with a lump of plywood placed across the drawer, pulled out, and I've got my very large office desk with one of the trays pulled out, where I've got my knives and other bits and pieces. So I can't really go much wider than I am now. Otherwise my wife would complain, because it'll take over another bit of the studio come ironing room. Bounce. Just come down here. I've put some cloud in, but I just want to show you how you can make hopefully make an attractive painting with a minimum of effort. But whether it will work, I don't know. But don't use one of your good brushes for this. Oh, dogs. Yeah, nothing more on the bike ride. We had a day off yesterday, or I did. My wife, we went down to Folkestone. We drove down from southeast London, northeast Surrey, where we live. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, fast run. With my old Nissan Micra, which is ideal. I used to have big cars for my carpet business, but I don't need a big car now. And the Nissan itself is a lovely car. It's got very low mileage, that's why I got it. It's 10 years old, and my next door neighbour, I bought it from him, from one of the 2 Toyota main dealers that he manages. It came in as a part exchange, and I borrowed my neighbour's old Micra, 20-year-old Micra. It wasn't their main family car, but I borrowed it when my big Renault estate got crashed by some careless driver, and the write-up. Well, I'd finished my carpet business by then. I was 17, I was old enough, carry on. And I said I want a micro because I was so impressed with the one I borrowed for 5 weeks while the insurance claim was being sorted out, that I said if you can get one with an automatic gearbox. We couldn't. Most micros are not made with that sort of box. Okay, so whatever, we've got a bit of a sky there. Let's clean the brush, and we'll put in a bit of cloud. Nice bit of, keep it bright day, so let's keep it sort of white with tinted with blue. See if it works. I might have to put a bit of ochre or something in. Not really registering. It's too similar in tone. So clean the brush again. I use a bit of light red or red ochre. It's very similar. A bit of white. Mix it in there. Bit of ochre in there. Bit of white. Oh, I really do suffer from cramp in my fingers these days. It's putting me off driving. Do it with the other fist. No, I don't intend a masterpiece to arise out of the ashes, out of the debris of struggle, but acrylic is quite good for this. Okay, that'll do. Right, what's that? Let's have a bit in the top here, just to break up some of the monotony. Now this is, I'm hoping, is going to be a really good idea for foliage and the leaves. Okay, that'll do. Right, now we'll get into with some greens. So let's mix up some greens, yellow, of course. Put a yellow bit of ochre in there. I'm a bit darker, so let's add a bit of red. All different sort of colours. And the deep green, so red, blue, yellow. Just get paint on. That's the most important thing, then you can adjust it as you go. Blue, just the 3 primaries, bit of oil, and good fun, isn't it? A bit noisy. Let's get a bit of orange. On the yellow side. I just want to bear in mind you're making a painting. It's no excuse for me, but we're making a painting, not a copy of anything. We're just creating an impression of something. Let's get some darker green, so let's have that colour there. Bit of oil. I'll put some of those grasses down below, but I want a dark foreground before I start overloading it with light colour paint. I want light against dark, always light against dark. Just getting the basic painting done. Right, okay, get some dark in there now. So let's have some cerulean with that red, a bit of green. Reds, change the reds. Green. Don't want to go up too high, but I want put some light over these dark colours. So there's plenty of scope for counter change. Right, now, I wonder if I can get away with one brush. Some darker stuff down the bottom there still. I'm listening on the radio, well, online, the Parliament channel. We watch a lot of that. I listen to it. Good dark. Let's get a bit of mauvey dark in here. Now this should dry fairly quickly because it's very warm up here, with the sun blazing through the Velux windows, the roof lights, that is. Right, now we don't want to make all the trees regimented, so we'll have some very light green. Two reds. They're just changing the MPs now because they're all sort of isolating, or self-distancing, so they can only have so many in the chamber at any one time. Going a bit even, that is. ochre orange, red. Dark green, let's try. I'm going to start with dark green. Maybe, well, no, let's stick with the colours I've got. Changing the colours is not going to make much difference. Right, let's get a bit, let that dry off a little bit. We need to get some highlights on there. So ochre and white, bit of oil. I have got a frame for this so we can have a look at it, see what it's like. Okay. Bit of green in there. Nice bits of dark, and we can concentrate more of that light ochre on the tops of those things. Clean the brush and go mad with that. Okay, now we'll get some darker colours in now. Red, green and blue. Look at the shadow in front of the trees. Look at the eye now. Funny thing was, this is only a bit of interest to UK viewers, but in the harbour, or just outside the Folkestone Harbour, because there's no ferries going out there now, it's just a fishing fleet and a few pleasure craft. There was a border force vessel, large boat, in the moored, and we had to have this invasion, it seems, by so many people trying to escape. Right, now this, I don't like that green in this painting. I'm going to take it off. Got loads of it, got a big tube of it. We used to go to Folkestone a lot with our camping traders. There's a lovely camping club site in the Warren. The Warren is a big land strip in the 19th century. There's still parts of it are disappearing with slides. You get too much rain, but it's a very beautiful site. You wouldn't know it was built up on the top of the cliffs, and you're looking out over the sea, and on a fine night you can see the French coast. It's really beautiful. We've been there many times. Okay, now we just got to get a different green now. Let's try sap green. That's the one we're more familiar with, isn't it? Okay. Not very dark, is it? We'll get some. Let's mix a bit of ochre and a bit of that red, because there was a lot of this colour on some of these trees. Right, now, ooh, the thumb's cramped up. Ah, ooh, come on, open up. Oh. Want to put a bit of all air back in that, so where's my brush? So we'll have a bit of that light blue. To put a bit of air back. Right, so we go a little bit brighter. I can't quite get to the bottom of that. So let's go Provoker. Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. I've not done any detail. It's all just with the edge of the brush and stipple. Not a great painting, but ooh, I'm going to put it in a mount. Take that off, and then we can. I'll also adjust my box easel. Put that over there, and it's pretty tough, this MDF, but if you overbend it, it will snap. But it's 2mm MDF, rubbed down, and a good primer with PVA glue, undiluted. But some does need diluting. It varies between manufacturer to manufacturer. It's also used for treating cement, isn't it? Or if you're going to put cement over cement, the PVA glue, or it's got a trade name as well, will seal the brickwork, and it will stick, the plaster will stick to the other stuff. It's very, very good. So let's just take my brush off. I don't want to put it out there. I usually forget. Right, frame. Ugh. I know it fits because I tested it. A couple of pins either side. One, two. So I've only got one brush to clean. Remember, I clean them in washing up liquid, fairy liquid in the UK, or Store's own brand. There's the Morrisons, they've all got their own brands. Right, okay, so stop here, I've got to change the easel. Let's move this out of the way, take the clips off so I remember where they are. I'm sure you're all buzzing to see this, so I'll just pull that down there a bit. And put Morden Hall Park on the easel. A bit of a jungle. There it is. In all its innocent glory. It's very, very beautiful, this part, isn't it? That's better square, isn't it? Okay, well, I hope you like it, folks. It was done with a minimum of effort. A few colours. I haven't used, well, I've used a bit of everything. Used mostly cadmium yellow, cadmium red and ultramarine. I've ditched the emerald green from this particular painting. So I'll keep that in my stay wet palette, give it a bit of water. Right, there's the stay wet box without the lid, bit of toweling in the bottom. What I do, it's as dry as a bone. I just give it a good spray with water. So if you're asking questions about how do you keep it fresh, it will be fresh tomorrow. I just love oil painting. I'm sorry for my watercolour followers, but there is more to life, I do declare. Right, okay, put the lid on. I'll put my palette in there. There you go, it's in there. And I'll put the lid on, and I'll show you the lid. It's the Masterson Stay Wet palette, and I don't get anything for telling you that. I bought this about 25 years ago, look, and it keeps everything. It's not absolutely airtight or watertight, they don't say it is. I like doing that. Makes a nice, pleasant sound. And click, click, click. My hands are cramping today because I've been cycling. And I'm of a certain age. Well, there we are. Here's the box. Oh. They're not that expensive, but for keeping your acrylics and oils soft, at least for a day or so. And you can put watercolours in it. But I keep my watercolours in the Stay Wet palette, not Stay Wet palette, in the Ziploc bag. With the same price. It's got water. You can see like it's all condensing on the surface of it. It's a very hot day today. Indian summer in the UK at the moment, or down south it is. Temperature coming back from Folkestone, it was about 30 degrees centigrade, and it's about that today. So I hope you like that one. I'll get it uploaded. I've only been going 31 minutes, so I'll never know just how long this will record.